Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Never Give Up Edu. Kindly subscribe, like, comment and press the bell icon. So today I'm going to discuss about facts of solar system. So this is the fourth part of universe series. So facts about solar systems are very important for all the examination perspective, because what people do, candidates generally do, is that they directly jump to the fact of planets of solar system, but they don't study the important facts that are relevant for the examination perspective apart from the planets. So there are various facts which are very important for the topic of solar system. So today I'm going to discuss about those important facts that are equally important as of the like the planets. So let's begin. So what is solar system? Solar system, the planetary system we call home, is located in an outer spiral arm of Milky Way galaxy or Akashganga. So in this statement, the important point here is that the Milky Way or Akashganga is a spiral galaxy. So the outer arm of this galaxy is spiral. So we are having two kind of galaxies. One is elliptical or another one is spiral. So Akashganga galaxy is spiral in form. Our solar system consists of a star, the sun. So in all the solar system, there is a important star that provides heat to all other planets. So in our case, we are having the sun and everything bound to it by gravity. So what is basically solar system? The solar system is having a star called sun, and all other things which are bound to it by gravity, like by its gravity. The planets like Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune, dwarf planets such as Pluto, dozens of moons and millions of asteroids, comets, meteoroids as celestial bodies. So all of these are pulled towards by the gravity of sun, and sun being at its center forms our solar system. Our solar system is believed to be originated about 4.5 billion years ago. So the important point is 4.5 billion years ago our solar system was originated, like our universe was originated 13.8 billion years ago from a dense cloud of interstellar gas or dust. So what is interstellar gas? So the gas is available in the space or universe is termed as interstellar gas. So nearest the sun, only rocky material could withstand the heat when the solar system was young. So when the solar system was very young, it was created from the star called sun at its center. So there was a tremendous pressure of heat. So only the rocky material could withstand that particular heat. For this reason, the first four planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars, are terrestrial planets. So they are having territories made up of solid and rocky surfaces. So all these four planets are basically terrestrial in nature, and out of these four planets, Earth is a habitable planet. Now, meanwhile, materials we are used to seeing as as ice, liquid or gas settle in the outer regions of the young solar system during its creation. So, when our Earth was created, or the whole solar system, as a matter of fact, the heat withstanded by four planets, they became the terrestrial, and those other planets which are more likely to get less heat from sun are made up of giant gases or icy particles. So out of the other four planets, Jupiter and Saturn became the gas giants, and Uranus and Neptune became the ice giants. So Uranus and Neptune are very far from sun, so they became ice giants, and Jupiter and Saturn became the gas giants. So they are basically gaseous and icy planets. So gravity pulled these materials together, and that is where we find gas giants Jupiter and Saturn and ice giants Uranus and Neptune. But there is a fact here is that both Jupiter's moon Europa and Saturn's moon Enceladus, so these two names are very important for examination point of view. What are they? They are Moon's natural satellite Europa and Saturn's natural satellite Enceladus have global saltwater oceans under thick icy shells, have potential for life like Mars. So, not only our Earth, but there are some areas in this universe or some planets or some natural satellites which are also have various potentialities to whole life. And here are two important names for examination point are Europa and Enceladus. So Enceladus is Saturn's moon and Europa is Jupiter's moon. Like the Mars, if we send expeditions in near future, we will find most of the survival natures of these planets in near future, hopefully. But as of now, we are having only Earth, that is the habitable planet we are living in. So, but at present, the only habitable planet that is known to us is a Earth. Now, Sun, the most crucial and the important part of our solar system is Sun, the solar interior from inside out. So, this picture here is given is a pictorial representation, not to be scaled to the original length. So, this is a pictorial representation only for your convenient understanding. So, the solar interior from inside out is made up of core. So, core is at its center. You can see in this picture that this is core. Let me show you. So, this is core, a radioactive zone. So, zone of radiation. So, this particular zone is called the zone of radiation, and this is core. And the outer part, that is the cell or the crust of sun, is called the convective zone. So there are various convective currents that are playing role in this zone. So it is basically known as convective zone of sun. So core, radiative zone and convective zone. So here are some important figures are given. Protosphere, temperature is minimum. Chromosphere, transition region. Flare, so solar flares are very important. Sometimes they also appears in various examinations. The term corona is also very important. Solar wind is very important. And this prominence, solar prominence is also very important. So all these terms are very important for various examination perspective. So here is a figure given. You can see this figure. This figure is given. This is the granular form of sun. So outer space is given the granular, sunspot, penumbra and umbra. So penumbra and umbra, these two terms are related with sun's interior, and sunspot is also very important fact. But apart from that, the corona, flare, prominence and solar wind, these four terms are very important for various examination perspective. So let's see. The solar atmosphere above that consists of the protosphere, chromospheres and the corona. I have already mentioned about corona. So from corona, the solar wind outflow is seen. So what is solar wind? Solar wind is an outflow of gas from the corona. So corona is the region. You can see in this figure, this is the region of corona. Again I am marking it. This is the region of corona. From this region solar winds are basically created. You can see here it is the solar wind. So if you see this is the solar wind and this is corona. Now what is a corona? A corona is a distinctive atmosphere of plasma. So plasma is basically ionized gas or materials or atoms or whatever you say is in the state of ionized form is called plasma that surrounds the sun and other celestial bodies in this universe. Now, so corona is very important. So they often give this term corona and they ask which of the following is true to the what is corona, or they will ask which of the following statement can be taken as a definition of corona. So corona is a distinctive atmosphere of plasma that surrounds the sun and other celestial body in this universe. So atmosphere of plasma that surrounds that surrounds the sun or other celestial bodies, you may say it, other stars or other planets or other any other celestial body in this universe. Now comes the next topic for examination point is auroras. So auroras are very important. So this term is been frequently asked in previous year examinations of UPSC in the geography section. So what are auroras? Auroras are caused by charged particles, mainly electrons and protons, entering the atmosphere of Earth from above, causing ionization and excitation of atmospheric constituents and a consequent optical emissions. So what this statement try to define is that when charged particles, mainly electrons and protons, which are basically from solar wind, enters the Earth atmosphere, so they start to excite or they start to ionize the constituents of our Earth's atmosphere. So from that ionization process, optical emissions are created. So this is a glowy sky we can see out of auroras. So this is a very beautiful phenomenon. But how this is caused? When charged particles, mainly electrons and protons from solar wind basically try to enter the Earth atmosphere, then the constituent present in Earth's atmosphere become ionized or excited, creating optical emissions is auroras. So you can see here, this is the picture given. Here you can see this kind of electron or charged particles are entering the Earth atmosphere here. So they become excited and they start emitting optical emissions. So this phenomenon is called basically aurora. You can see it. This is called aurora. And if aurora comes, you have to remember two important facts related to aurora. Is that one important fact is that uh, aurora is important for the phenomenon that is glowing sky we see. As secondly, if aurora is seen there, that means solar winds or any other charged particles is entering the Earth atmosphere. You can assume that fact. Now coming to the next topic, which is very important, and this term is important for APSC and both UPSC also, Goldilocks zones. So these type of information are not available in books as of now, because these are very crucial informations. So I have collected this information for all of you, so that you can able to understand the topics which are important for the examination perspective. Because just merely collecting the information and reading the bunch of informations is not fruitful for competitive examination. What is important is that you have to understand the various important topics or data which are mainly important for examination perspective, and you should understand how to discard all the irrelevant informations from examination perspective. So what are Goldilocks zones? So the Goldilocks zones refer to the habitable zone around a star where the temperature is just right, not too hot, not too cold, for liquid water to exist on a planet. So if we say this is a planet, so this is a planet, this is sun. So you can see I am drawing a sun here. Okay, so this is sun. So this planet is receiving solar radiation, solar heat all the time. So if this planet don't have a atmosphere around it or a zone around it which can protect it from the extreme heat of sun, then this planet will not be able to sustain water or life in it, like Mercury and other planets like Venus. So what Goldilocks zones do, they try to make a atmosphere around that particular planet or planets which can survive water in them, like if I say it, so water in them. So if they can if they can survive or if they can sustain water in them, there is high possibility of creation of life in it. So Goldilocks zone is that zone which around a star where the temperature is just right, not too hot, not too cold, for liquid water to exist on a planet. So here is like this kind of Goldilocks zone. What it will do, it will make the temperature just right for the planet to sustain water and to sustain life. Now you can see here, this is the Goldilocks zone what I am actually talking about. So this Goldilocks zone helps Earth. You can see Earth here. So it help Earth to sustain water. So for that reason, for the optimum temperature, not too hot, not too cold, Earth is a planet where habitation or the survival of species can occur only. So this area is called the Goldilocks zone. Now that's all for today. So in next video of Universe series part 5, we will learn about all planets of our solar system one by one. Also, we'll learn about all the important facts about them from examination point of view. Kindly subscribe, like, comment and press the bell icon to never give up edu. And this is the link given here. You can directly put this link to your web browser for getting to my account directly, and kindly subscribe. And if you like the video, kindly press the thumbs up and never miss a update by pressing the bell icon. Thank you.